Hi there, I hope you're doing well. In today's devlog, I'd like to show you the progress that I've made so far. And so at this point in development, I have made all of my gameplay levels, where the player takes control of the character. So what you're seeing here, this is the first time that the player will get to control the main character and get a feel for the controls. So we'll go ahead and hit play here. And you can see we can move left, right, jump, very basic, jump over this rock, jump up here, jump there, up here. And this is really nothing more than a transition scene from the main cutscene onto the gameplay. You know, my initial idea for this level was to make it take place during the day. However, when I started to build the level, I made the background of the canvas black, and I thought it gave a really cool nighttime vibe when I saw it behind the trees and the rest of the scene. And so I started to build upon that. The moon here is just a simple sprite primitive, you know, a circle primitive. And then these twinkling stars back here, this is a particle effect. You can get some really neat effects with the particle system. It takes a little bit to get used to and play around with, but you can get some really interesting things. And so we'll go ahead and move on to the next scene. But before I do that, I just want to make clear that all of the assets that you're seeing here, I got off the Unity Asset Store for free. I just thought that was important to call out, because it's important to give credit and recognize these asset artists because they have an immense amount of talent, frankly talent that I currently do not have, and they work very hard to put these out there for our use. With the help of these assets, I'm really proud of how this level and really this project has come out so far. So why don't we go ahead and move on to the next level here. So here we are in the second gameplay scene. Now here is where the player reaches the castle. They just see the castle off to the right hand side of the screen for the first time. We see these tattered banners here, and the most striking thing I think in the scene is this dead skeleton soldier of sorts. You know, we don't know if he was on our side or if he's an enemy. We don't know if he was fighting something out here or he was running from the castle and something took him out just outside. I kept this scene sparse and free of too many assets on purpose because I really wanted to let the player's mind create the scene. Alright, so here we are, the first combat scene, and this is where things really get started. So here the player must traverse from left to right in order to make it to the other end of this scene. Pull that chain in the upper right hand corner, which will open the door, and the player can go on to the next and final level. Along the way, we see this ring here, and the player can choose to interact with it to collect it as an added challenge, or they can just focus on dodging and defeating the enemies in order to make their way across the level. So let's go ahead and hit play here and see what we can do. Now, of course, this is still in development, so you can see it's not quite polished yet. You can see this flying character up here is following me wherever I go. This is a special pathfinding asset pack that I used. I actually followed a Brackeys tutorial. I'm sure those of you who are watching this video may be very familiar with Brackeys. He is probably one of the best known Unity development tutorial channels on YouTube. Sadly, they don't make videos anymore, but they were excellent while they were doing it. So as you can see, it's not quite polished. These enemies can kind of push me around. I can't quite defeat this one yet. But anyway, let's go see if we can see if we can escape this guy and open the door here. And I hit E when I'm next to the chain to open it, and the door opens. And then we will be able to go on to the next level, which I actually don't have that level set up in my scenes yet, but I will be doing that soon. And let's take a look at the last level. Here we are, we've made it. Now, this is not completely finished yet. As you'll see here very soon, there's one glaring issue right when we start the game. You know, the first step in development is just getting a functional version done. You can get an idea of what the game is, but there's a lot of things that could be tightened up. So let's jump into this scene here, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Our boss moonwalks towards us. He moonwalks, and then he begins to run correctly. And I can just do, well, I could do that all day, and he would never catch me. Until he thinks that he can, and he will try his best. He'll try to attack me, but watch what happens. I can dodge all of his swings. So, of course, there are a number of issues with the boss that I will be tackling here relatively soon. But if we jump up here, we can open the chest, and we win. I'm planning to have a piece of treasure instantiate out of this chest that the player can collect, and upon collecting the treasure, that will trigger the final cutscene. So the issues with this boss, I've actually run into quite a few. I will be making a video on that. As a matter of fact, that will most likely be my next devlog. I think we've all run into some issues that have taken longer to solve than we initially thought. This happened to be one of them, but I really am going to try and give you some tips and share my experience in hopes that if you do run into that issue, it won't be as painful. So I want to thank you for watching, as always. I really hope you enjoyed. I sincerely hope you could take something away from this video, and I hope you have a good day.